The Solitude of Genius, A Path to Brilliance. Why did history's greatest minds often turn their backs on society? From inventors like Tesla to poets like Dickinson, many chose solitude over the clamor of crowds. Is this isolation a burden that haunts the brilliant, or a secret to unlocking their potential? Today, we delve into Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy to explore why deep thinkers embrace solitude and whether you should too. Stay tuned. This could change how you see your own mind. The solitary call of genius. What compels some of history's most brilliant minds to seek solitude? Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosopher with a sharp and somber view of humanity, believed that exceptional intellect naturally leads to a life apart. For him, the world was a swirling mess of trivial pursuits, gossip, fleeting trends, and hollow ambitions that drown out meaningful thought. A mind of rare depth, he argued, finds little in common with the masses, retreating to solitude to protect its clarity and nurture its ideas. This isn't about disdain, but about necessity. When your thoughts probe deeper than most, finding true peers is like searching for stars in a foggy sky. Schopenhauer suggested that only in solitude can a person be fully themselves, unshackled from the pressure to conform or simplify their ideas. He saw society as a stage where people play roles, chasing status or approval through shallow interactions. For a thinker, this performance is stifling, a distraction from the pursuit of truth. Figures like Nikola Tesla, who spent years alone perfecting inventions that transformed the world, embody this idea. Emily Dickinson, crafting poetry in the quiet of her room, found her voice far from society's noise. Their solitude wasn't a quirk, it was a sanctuary where their genius could flourish. But solitude comes at a price. Schopenhauer acknowledged that isolation, while freeing, can weigh heavily on the soul. Brilliant minds often feel like outsiders, not just by choice but because their insights set them apart. This disconnect can lead to loneliness, even despair. Consider Vincent van Gogh, whose art was born in solitude, but whose life was marked by emotional turmoil. Schopenhauer saw this as inevitable. The deeper your understanding, the harder it is to find a place in a world obsessed with appearances. Yet, he argued, this sacrifice is worth it, for solitude allows the mind to soar where crowds cannot follow. So, why does this matter? Schopenhauer believed that society's triviality, its fixation on status, gossip, and fleeting pleasures dulls the intellect. Solitude, by contrast, sharpens it, offering a space to wrestle with big ideas. The question is this isolation a curse or a gift? For Schopenhauer, it was both, but the rewards of intellectual freedom far outweighed the costs. History's greatest thinkers, from Tesla to Dickinson, show us that solitude isn't just a retreat, it's a crucible where brilliance is forged. The divide between minds. Genius often creates a chasm between the thinker and the world. Schopenhauer argued that those who see reality with uncommon clarity questioning norms, spotting hidden truths struggle to fit into society's rhythms. Their minds operate on a different plane, grappling with ideas that most overlook. This isn't just a preference for solitude. It's a consequence of their intellectual depth. For Schopenhauer, society was a grand masquerade, where people hide behind facades of politeness, chasing power or approval through empty rituals. A brilliant mind finds this charade exhausting, craving substance over small talk. This divide is evident in history. Isaac Newton, whose laws of motion reshaped science, had little patience for trivial chatter, retreating to his studies instead. Friedrich Nietzsche described society as a turbulent sea that threatens to drown independent spirits. These thinkers needed solitude to shield their minds from the clutter of social expectations. But this distance isn't always chosen. Society often rejects those who think differently. Innovative ideas can spark discomfort, even hostility, from those who cling to the status quo. Schopenhauer saw this as a form of intellectual exile. The world pushes away what it doesn't understand. This rejection can cut deep. Nietzsche called it the resentment of the mediocre, where the majority attacks what makes them feel inferior. Schopenhauer recognized the pain of this alienation, noting that even the greatest minds feel its sting. Being misunderstood or dismissed isn't just isolating, it can breed self-doubt or despair. Yet, he argued, this is the price of seeing beyond the ordinary. Solitude, while painful, offers a space to refine ideas free from external pressure. Tesla's revolutionary inventions and Dickinson's timeless poetry were born in such isolation, proving its power. The question remains, is this divide a curse or a gateway to greatness? Schopenhauer believed it was both. But the rewards of intellectual independence were worth the cost. Society's superficiality, its obsession with status, gossip, and petty disputes, traps most people in a cycle of distraction. Brilliant minds, by stepping away, escape this trap, finding clarity in solitude. This perspective challenges us to see isolation not as a flaw, but as a necessity for those who seek to understand the world. Deeper truths. Solitude as a creative refuge. For Schopenhauer, solitude wasn't just a consequence of genius, it was a deliberate choice, a sanctuary for the mind. He saw society as a machine that grinds down originality with its demands for conformity and fixation on trivial matters. To think deeply, you need silence, space, and freedom from the crowd's noise. Solitude provides that rare environment where ideas can take root and grow. This idea resonates through history. From Immanuel Kant's near-monastic routines to Beethoven's solitary compositions, crafted despite his growing deafness. Schopenhauer frames solitude as a kind of spiritual discipline, drawing on Buddhist teachings about detachment. He believed that clinging to social approval or external validation traps the mind in a cycle of suffering. By stepping back, a thinker can focus inward, uncovering truths that society's clamor obscures. This isn't about rejecting human connection entirely, but prioritizing the inner world. Solitude allows the mind to wrestle with big questions, free from the pressure to perform or conform. Dickinson's poetry and Tesla's inventions were born in such quiet spaces. But solitude isn't without challenges. Humans are social creatures, wired to seek belonging. Even the most solitary thinkers feel this pull. Schopenhauer acknowledged that isolation can lead to melancholy or doubt, a reality Nietzsche also explored, describing the philosopher as a lonely wanderer struggling to share their wisdom. Yet, Schopenhauer saw solitude as a privilege, a space where the mind can roam unburdened by social expectations. This perspective reframes isolation as a source of strength, a crucible for creativity and insight. This view challenges us to rethink solitude. In a world that equates busyness with worth, choosing to step back feels radical. Yet it's in those quiet moments that clarity and purpose emerge. Schopenhauer believed that solitude allows the mind to preserve its authenticity, protecting it from the distractions of society. From Kant's groundbreaking philosophy to Beethoven's timeless symphonies, history shows that solitude isn't just a retreat, it's a space where brilliance is born, refined, and unleashed, navigating a world of noise. Why don't more people embrace solitude? Schopenhauer's answer was blunt. Most can't bear it. The average person, he argued, seeks refuge in the crowd, filling their lives with distractions to avoid facing their own thoughts. A brilliant mind, by contrast, finds solace in its own company, unafraid to dive into introspection. But living in the world requires balance. Total isolation isn't practical. Schopenhauer admitted that humans need some interaction, if only to stay grounded or exchange ideas. The key is to engage strategically, avoiding the swamp of triviality. This philosophical detachment is central to Schopenhauer's philosophy. Instead of fighting society's shallowness, accept it as a fact of life. Instead of seeking validation from the crowd, focus on your own growth. This echoes Stoic wisdom, particularly Marcus Aurelius, who advised treating the world's chaos with indifference, focusing only on what you can control your mind. Schopenhauer urged thinkers to observe society like scientists, with curiosity but without emotional investment. This detachment allows you to navigate without being consumed. In practice, this means choosing connections wisely. Albert Einstein preferred intellectual debates over socialites' empty chatter. Schopenhauer didn't advocate for hermithood, but for selectivity. Surround yourself with those who challenge your mind, and let the rest fade away. This is especially relevant today, in an era of digital noise, social media, endless notifications, and shallow trends. Schopenhauer's philosophy offers a way to filter this chaos. Intelligence is about knowing how to move through the world without losing yourself. Schopenhauer believed that the key to happiness lies in self-sufficiency. The brilliant mind doesn't need external validation that society craves. By cultivating detachment, you can interact with the world while preserving your mental clarity. This doesn't mean cutting off all ties, but being intentional about where you invest energy. In a world of distractions, this ability to focus is a superpower, allowing thinkers to create, reflect, and innovate in ways that echo through time. The gift of solitude. Is solitude a blessing or a burden? For Schopenhauer, it's both, but primarily a gift. The greatest minds, he believed, find more meaning in their own thoughts than in society's chatter. Solitude isn't just a retreat. It's a space where creativity, authenticity, and freedom thrive. This doesn't mean rejecting society outright. Even solitary figures like Tesla, Dickinson, and Newton left legacies that shaped humanity. Their isolation allowed them to contribute something deeper, something that transcended the noise of their time. Schopenhauer saw solitude as a tool to refine ideas that could light the way for others, even if misunderstood. But it requires resilience. You must thrive in your own company, confronting uncomfortable truths with courage. This self-awareness unlocks a freedom society can't provide: a freedom to think, create, and live on your terms. Schopenhauer's philosophy challenges us to reframe solitude in a culture obsessed with connectivity. Choosing to step back is radical, but it's where clarity and strength is found. This perspective draws on Buddhist ideas of detachment, which Schopenhauer admired. Clinging to worldly distractions, relationships, status, approval breeds suffering. True growth comes from within, in the quiet moments of introspection. Yet solitude isn't painless. Even great thinkers like Nietzsche, who celebrated isolation, felt its loneliness. Schopenhauer acknowledged this, suggesting that philosophical detachment, observing the world without being consumed by it, helps balance the tension between solitude and human connection. So, where do you stand? Will you let the world's noise drown your inner clarity, or embrace solitude to unlock your potential? Schopenhauer's philosophy shows that the greatest minds chose solitude, not out of arrogance, but necessity. Their isolation wasn't a flaw, it was a path to brilliance. History suggests that this path, though lonely, offers rewards that resonate across generations. The question is, will you take the first step toward your own quiet brilliance? What's one way you can embrace solitude today to spark your own brilliance? Maybe it's an hour of quiet reflection, journaling your thoughts, or turning off distractions to focus on a big idea. Share your plan in the comments. We'd love to hear how you carving out space for deep thinking. If this video inspired you, subscribe our channel Psychosophy and tap the bell icon to join us in exploring the power of the mind. Let's keep diving into the ideas that shape our world.